Welcome to another Mind, Body, Spirit panel. Incredible guests the world over with amazing insights and super high frequency. They've got it together. Incredible experts. I'm going to call it love, or they're sharing their experiences with others, trying to help us all stay in the heart more and show love always. Today, no exception, coming to us from LA, Suara Lee. She's Akashic Records, I'm going to say spiritual teacher, mentor, coach. Jennifer Passavant out of Michigan. She wears so many hats. It's wild. She's psychic, a channel, and much more. She's also a super incredible communicator. And then Sunny Dawn Johnston, 20 to 24 books, NDEs, spiritual teacher, psychic, you name it. Pretty much all three of these are like Delta Force of coolness on the spiritual front. So you couldn't do better for a panel, including crystal clear communication from all three. So with that, I'm stepping out of the way. I'll start with a softball question for the three of you, and we'll see who wants to step up first. What's going on with mankind right now? Is this an opportunity for extra growth and expansion? Who wants to take a stab at this?
I will. I think the systems are shaking down and breaking down as needed. So, institutions and leaders and structures that I think a lot of people assumed were solid are breaking down, and it's darkest before the dawn. So, it has to break down. There's no other way. It's super uncomfortable to witness and watch and see all the pain, but light is being shined, and the light is where the answers are and where the new creation can be. So as much as it's difficult, there's also the opportunity and the possibility for so much change that we've been asking for, and we can't just keep piling shit on top of shit. Like we gotta start at the base and build up.
Wow, beautifully put. Suara, what's your take?
It is time now for the great awakening for everyone, and we are really being given an incredible opportunity right now. All of those parts of us that are have been hidden in the past are coming into the light. It's true that it is darkest before the dawn, but in that darkness, we are being shown our own darkness. All the worst parts of us are coming into the light. And it's giving us an opportunity to look at these parts of ourselves and say, hey, that doesn't work. I don't want to be that way. I don't want to have this energy around me, and for us to make a different choice. And the only choice there is for us is love. Love is the only choice. And if we choose love in those small ways, the way that we love the person in front of us, respect the person in front of us, we can bring in the light, we can bring in love, and that will be the dawn of the new golden age. And all those kids, the indigo children and crystal children that were born in the 90s and at the turn of the century 2000, they've come of age, and they are doing exactly what they are meant to do, which is they are breaking down all of the structures. They're questioning everything, breaking down every structure there is out there so that we can tear them apart and leave behind anything that we no longer need or want, and bring together what will take us into the future, into that golden age. And so they're breaking down everything. You can see it all around us. They're asking, what is a family structure? Do we have to live this way? Let's break that apart and see what's really necessary. What is education? What is finance? Let's create Bitcoin. What is meat? Let's create the Impossible Burger. What is gender? Do we have to even put ourselves in these kind of roles? They're breaking down every single paradigm and structure that is out there. And when they break it apart, what will be left behind is just what we want to keep, what we want to build on. And in that place, we're going to make that call. And it's through love that we're going to choose what we can take into the future with us, what we're leaving behind. And that this is the way that we're going to create the new world moving into the future. And some people call it ascension. Some people call it 5D and moving into the 5D, the new earth or becoming the new human. This is all part of that process. And so there's hope in that, that we are guided, that there's purpose behind this, and that we will end up in a place of that's better than where we were yesterday. I'm hoping for that. It actually is not necessarily guaranteed. We still have free will and choice, and so we do have to choose. We have to choose love. We have to choose light. But I have faith. I have faith in humanity. We're going to make it, and we're going to get to the other side with love.
Thank you, Suara. Regard others as yourself, generously and without fixation. Jennifer.
Yeah, to add to what they both said, because they both said some really awesome things, there is a shakeup. And what's being shaken up is basically all of the lies and the things that have been hidden. They're all coming to light. But now, in order to try to maintain control, there are new lies and new narratives that are being brought up. But what's great about that is every time a new lie and a new narrative comes up, that inspires the truth to be brought to light because people aren't tolerating these lies and these false narratives anymore. And there is a choice point coming up because the choice point is either you choose, how shall I say, you choose either the Christic impulse of unity consciousness, of divine, organic, centered peace, which means you stay out of duality. So you stay out of attaching to one side or another and pitting yourself against one side or another. You move into a state of centered balance and you can see from a 30,000-foot view, or you choose duality. There's no wrong answer, but they will provide for you very different results, very different experiences. There's also the choice point of, do I choose the organic divine path? Because there is a movement to synthesizing everything. Synthetic meat, synthetic seeds, synthetic soil, technologizing and synthesizing and man making all that is natural, organic, and divine? Or do you choose the natural, organic, and divine? Do you choose Neuralink or do you choose to meditate and access your own third eye? So, there are these choice points, and depending on which choice you make and what the predominant, how shall I say, the predominant choices that are made in terms of a collective consciousness will then ultimately determine the timeline that you ultimately experience.
And we're going to Sunny in just a second, but this household has stopped buying, for example, not to name any particular product, but Campbell's soup, just because we didn't know lab-grown meat was being snuck into the soup. So we're done. We're done with all that for good. So, Sunny, can you follow up with either what you said earlier or react to what you've heard elsewhere?
I agree with these ladies in everything that they've mentioned, and I think that when we start looking at the shakeup and what's happening, it's easy to get into the energy of anger and to choose one side or another side. When we think that it's about one political side or it's about one religion or it's about one industry. And the reality of it is, it's not. It's about humanity, and it's about consciousness, and it's about integrity, and it's about witnessing what happens in the world when there when when power exists without accountability. And I think that so many people are being called into that, stepping more into their power because of what we're witnessing, but not necessarily doing that from the heart base, the love based place. They're coming from the anger place. Anger serves a purpose, absolutely. But if we really want to make change, then we have to be willing to start to first look within ourselves and make those changes here that then start to ripple out. And I think so many people feel like they need to stand up and they need to have a voice, but we have to also be mindful of, what are we voicing, and what is that effect, the ripple effect of that on humanity? Because I think that this the energy that's out there right now, there's such a, it's so complex. And I think people want to pick one thing or the other thing. And the reality of it is, both exist. They both exist. So we can be in an energy of being heartbroken, and we can also recognize, okay, and something is shifting, and we can also see that we can have good things happening. It doesn't all have to be bad, and we can stand in power and in solidarity with people that have been hurt or been wounded. We don't have to choose one or the other. And I think that's one of the things I see so much in communities across the board, is that people feel like they have to choose one way, and that is not it's not even our nature. That's why there's so much conflict, I think, within, and it's an expression that we're seeing outside of us as well. And division is going to be the thing that spreads the most unless we can shift it to love.
Suara.
Mhm. I love what you just said, Sunny. I totally agree with you. And I know there's a reality that is out there that exists right now. And so much of it is in duality. There's opposition happening everywhere, and there's all kinds of things happening on both sides of the fence. And I think that because we are energy workers and light workers, and we're connected in with spirit, at least for me, I feel like the choice really comes down to one simple question for me, which is this of love or is this not love? And everything breaks down to me to that one simple question. Is this of love? Is this next choice of love? And I think that's a hard path to walk, really, because it is such a deeply spiritual path. It's one of faith. It's one of a kind of internal vigilance that I have to have with myself. Where is my heart right now? And I have friends out there that are telling me, that are upset with me, like, but don't you see all of these things are happening in the world? You have to go outside and you have to fight and you have to protest and you have to XYZ. And I'm sitting there thinking, but to me, the energy comes first because we are energy workers. And when I'm in that space of fighting, even the word fight, I'm in againstness. I'm furthering, perpetuating the duality, the separation, the anger. It might look like a different kind of anger, but at the heart of it, what's going on inside of my heart is still anger, separation, blame, pointing the finger. And so to walk this path, from the outside, it might look like I'm not really doing anything. But the truth is, in my heart, I'm holding light and love, not only for myself, but for everyone. And so if folks here listening today can bring that question to mind as often as you can throughout the day, is this of love or is this not love? And as best as you can, make the choice of love over and over and over again. That is one of the greatest acts that we can do, a great piece of the work, because as I do it and my neighbor does it and the next neighbor over does it, we create a network of light around the planet that can really shift everything. So it doesn't have to be hard. It could be really simple. Is this from love? Is this love or is this not love? And then that's it. And
And
let's
we're
keep it simple.
and we're about to go to Jennifer. I'm going to just mention I did 16 years of international PR out of New York City, putting people on the front page of the Wall Street Journal probably a dozen times, New York Times business page section, Fortune Business Press. I peaked out at 1,100 interviews in a single year. I'd sit in on them. I got paid CEO pay. I loved the news. I would read 4 newspapers a day. I never thought I'd reach a point where I have unplugged completely from all news outlets, no exceptions, minus maybe one little social media platform for some individual content providers. I've completely checked out, not trying to react too much, but just the inaction thing is what I decided on a run today, 5.5 mile run. And I'm like, taking no action is sometimes the best action. Let's just see where this all goes. Stay here, vibe out. And with that, I'm going to do 2 quotes. Show love always. I think Native American chief said that to me 10 years ago, but this one's from Mary, Big Mary. Love is a constant. Open your eyes to find love. And with that, we go to Jennifer in Michigan.
Yeah, so again, everything these ladies said, I'm going, yes, on the inside. And the only thing I could think to expound on that, because I can't add to it, but I can expound on it, would be, with regard to people using anger towards something. And I think people forget 2 things. One, it is in fact okay for other people to think, feel, and believe differently than you. And because that is what we would want for ourselves, right? We want people to let us think what we want and believe what we want. So then if you try to tell other people that they're wrong and you're somehow morally or spiritually or intellectually superior because of what you believe, you've now become the thing that you don't like. So part of being loving is letting other people be not like you. Unfortunately, that is a part of love, and a lot of people don't like to hear that, but This is what it is. But to add to the anger aspect, a lot of people, like Suara was saying, and I think Don, you mentioned this too, is people do choose anger, and you have to be fighting, and you've got to be fighting against this thing. But when you fight against something, what you resist persists, right? Energy flows where attention goes. So if you're angry about something and you're fighting against something, you're perpetuating it because you're giving it more energy. So if you want to see the opposite, okay, so what's the opposite of the thing that I don't like? Okay, I don't like war, so I want peace. Well, how do I perpetuate peace? Be peace. Be it. Just be it. Exude that. You can't make peace happen by trying to force it. You have to be in flow by being it. What does peace look like to you? Behave that way. Feel that way. What does love and acceptance look like to you? Real love, real acceptance, not the superficial love and the superficial acceptance that says, I love and I accept all things that are exactly like me. I mean, I love and accept all the things, even if they're not what I prefer, because I allow other people to have the freedom to be who they want to be, just as I want that freedom for myself. So I think that is a real struggle for people because people they find their identity in their attachments, and their attachments they have been raised to attach to, right? Like, think about it. Did your parents shape your political views? Probably. Mine did. And I've had to break away from all of those attachments and turn off the news and move into a centered state so that I'm not operating from a bias and so that I'm not continuing to identify with an attachment. And I think people like to feel like they're a part of a tribe. So they maintain that attachment so that they can feel accepted by being a part of a tribe that they are told is morally, spiritually, and intellectually superior to an opposing tribe. But it's that tribalism that is outdated. That's no longer going to carry us forward, and it's antithetical to unity consciousness. So I challenge and encourage people to see their biases and to see their attachments and to see when they're using their attachments to validate who they are as a person and to validate any level of sense of rightness or righteousness. This is shadow work, and it's not easy work, but it's work I had to do, and I would venture to guess that Suara and Sunny have done the same thing. But it is, as Suara, I think you mentioned people doing shadow work earlier, and this is a part of it.
I'm going to give a quote. We're going to go a little more rapid fire right now, and I'd love to get a reaction to the quote and anything else you want to add. Here's the quote from Angels. You can be happy now in this very moment without a single reason. And I will add that's a holy hand grenade or the rub. Because what are we allowing for daily? Good luck with any of this. But I'm going to read it one more time when we go to Sunny. You can be happy now in this very moment without a single reason. Sunny.
Yeah, I think that's the complicated belief system for people. I think, okay, we see all these things. Our nervous systems were not designed to have all this knowledge and wisdom and see all these things 24/7. They weren't created that way, and they weren't created for that. And so we have to recognize that a big part of what's happening in humanity is that people's nervous systems are overwhelmed and they don't know what to do, and they don't know how to shift that, how to transmute that. And when you say, well, I'm happy, well, what, you don't care? It doesn't matter to you what's happening all over the world? Well, yes, but things have happened all over the world always, forever. But we only had our own little segment of the world, which was usually our neighborhoods, right? Maybe a little bit more with that world news. And we could have compassion, but we didn't live in it every single minute of the day. And we also didn't have people telling us we were wrong if we didn't do something and we didn't speak out and we didn't go out and fight and we didn't, and I think what's happened is people's are so activated by everything because our nervous systems are so irregulated because of these devices that we haven't learned how to actually regulate ourselves. And that's the thing that we can do. Division is being created. It's intentional. It's what's happening, and it's part of why it's happening is because it's designed that way. But there are a lot of things that we can do, and a lot of people are doing these, but then they're feeling like they're not doing it right or good enough because other people are saying, well, you need to do this or that. And personally, I think it's all bullshit, and that we can actually just step into, okay, what is true for us? We can learn to regulate our systems, and we can breathe, and we can meditate, and we can pray, and we can visualize, and we can journal, and we can move our bodies, and we can get out in nature, and we can sit in silence, and we can love the person across the street from us, regardless of their beliefs, or regardless of their preferences, and we can send love. And we're not doing that in a bypassing way, and we're not minimizing anything, but we're being grounded and intentional in life, because that's actually what being a human is about, right? That's humanity. And we've had so many labels and judgments put on us that people don't actually even know what to do. And they feel like they have to do something that is external. And my suggestion would be, how about we get internal? Because that's where the change happens anyway. And if all of us are external all the time, we're just bouncing against each other, and nothing changes. So, yeah, nervous system is a big activator right now, and that's what I'm seeing across the board.
Suara, you don't get the same quote. We got to keep you on your toes. You get two quotes. One's going to be Winnie the Pooh, and the other one's going to be from Angels. Some people talk to animals. Not many listen, though. That's the problem, Winnie the Pooh. And I'll add, and that's the opportunity for growth for us all. But the second quote is, grow your awareness, not your thinking. With that, what's your take on everything?
I love the quote of growing your awareness. And even when you said it, you said grow your awareness, and you sort of put your hand near your heart and your chest. Yeah, you did that. And this kind of builds off of what Sunny just said about our nervous system and our bodies. Our awareness, especially right now, what we're really being called to do is to have our full awareness come with us. And that includes our human body, that this is our vehicle, and we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And yet it is through the human experience that we are able to access the highest realms of the spiritual, at least while we're here, while we're incarnated. So there's this incredible wisdom that we carry around with us in our physical bodies, and we need to come home to that. And when we do come home to that, we listen to our higher selves. We listen to the somatic body. It's in this place where we can expand our awareness. Our capacity opens up to hold more love, hold more light, to channel in higher levels of information that go beyond what's existing down here in the 3D world. In our egos and our personalities, we're able to rise above that and access something that's deeper, truer to who we are, closer to the truth, closer to God. It's in this place that we're able to access all of those things. And so when we focus in on expanding our awareness, the first step is to come home to your body. And then after that, while you're sitting and resting in your body, your capacity to open up, to hold even more light and love will move in. And that's really coming home. That's really expanding awareness.
Jennifer, we've got two more quotes for you. One's going to be Star Wars, the 1977 movie, when Obi-Wan Kenobi talks to Luke at the very beginning at his little home in the mountains. Luke, you're going to find that many of the truths we cling to depend on our own point of view. And the second quote is from Gary Zukav's Seed of the Soul. Great book. You change the way that you shape the light which is flowing through you by changing your consciousness. What's your reaction? Where do you want to take us?
Well, I think I love how these quotes can all tie into everything that they've just said. When you actually, I'm going to back up. Okay. Sorry, I had to figure out where I wanted to start. So when we can start to recognize that we're filters, and everything that passes through our filter is colored by all of our previous experiences, our childhood wounding, all of that. And when you can become aware of that, you can then start to control the the measure, okay, the measure of your filter, I don't know why they're using that word, but that's the word they're using, meaning you can start to adjust your filter and reorganize it so that your perceptions are allowed to shift. This is a shifting in perception. So what you thought was true maybe 10, 15 years ago, as you go through your healing journey and your soulful evolution, your consciousness changes, which means your filter changes. So you start to perceive things differently. Um, and they're sort of screaming at me to bring back the whole operating from awareness and nervous system thing. One of the best ways that you can elevate your consciousness and shift your perception and be more in control of your responses, your thoughts, your beliefs, your feelings, etc., is turning off your phone and getting into that sense of stillness. Because if you've got so much input, not only is your nervous system dysregulated, but your sense of awareness is blocked because it it doesn't have the peace and the silence and the calm to allow anything in because it's being inundated with all of this useless scrolly junk. And so when you can quiet your mind, and you can get back in tune with you and what your wounds are, what your filters are, what your biases are. Why do I respond that way when my boss talks to me like that? What did that come from? Why do I always have these recurring relationships? What's going on there? And you can start doing your own inner work. That's when you start being able to drop the density of your old filter, your old filtration system. And now your filter is now more open to be receiving new higher levels of awareness. Does that make sense when I say that?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Suara, we're going to change pace here. You get to ask a question of the other two guests. What question would you like to do? But I'm going to buy us a little bit of time. I'm going to light some sage here in Texas, and it's going to energetically, however you want to say it, through two screens, reach California, Arizona, and Michigan. And if you're new to the entire channel, this will be that plug moment. I think we've got 1.15 million channel visits, mostly shorts. We have about 500 different shows. We're on Spotify now with the first 55 episodes plucked from wherever. We have about 8 seasons, I think, to put up. But we're only doing 55 shows in season 1. So check that out on Spotify. And please like, subscribe, share, comment. Okay, I'm wafting you some sage, but you don't have to settle for linear sage, even though it's amazing. It's from California, Juniper Ridge. It can be flowers. It can be tobacco. It could be the desert just after rain. Let angels, light beings, let loving beings, love and above bring you something. And if you want to catch light around you and get caught off guard, sure. Can I just hear a yes or a hand up or anything? Got it from you all. Is everybody getting it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I can snub this out now instead of smoking myself out here. And Suara, what's the question you'd like to pose the other two guests?
Well, actually, I was really intrigued when I heard, Sunny, your introduction that you had a NDE, a near-death experience. Oh, it was you, Jennifer?
No, me too. I'm
Oh,
thinking,
okay.
yeah, what you said,
Yeah.
I'm also intrigued. Yeah.
Yeah, I love to hear about NDEs. I guess my question is, from the NDE, was there anything, like what's the thing that stood out the most that you learned from your experience coming out of that?
Oh, that's such a good question. Mine is not the typical experience that most people talk about, and so I had a different awareness. So I was I had a child at 18, and when I delivered him, I developed an infection that for 3 weeks I had a 106.3-degree temperature, and they couldn't break it. So they came in and actually told me I was going to die. And during that 3 weeks, most of that time I was out of the body completely. And so I had like this long NDE for weeks. Um, but the difference was I didn't have a white light. So I didn't go to a light. I experienced more of the dark. and more of the pain that I had been living in and the experiences that I had been living in. And not that I was scared in any way, because I wasn't, but it wasn't like a choice point. Hey, do you want to come here or do you want to go back? It was more of a stop, look at it all, and come on back and do something different, was more of my experience. And so I wasn't scared. I didn't actually even initially realize that that's what it was until about a year or two later, when my angels started explaining to me, because Raphael, very shortly after that, came into my hospital room and literally breathed life into me. And that's when my temperature broke the very first day, 12 hours later. So I had a miraculous experience on the heels of that NDE. And I think what I learned is that at any given time, at any time, you can choose to show up differently. And it is intentional, conscious choice with a lot of difficult work, and anybody can do it.
Sunny, beautiful. What's your question for one of the other panelists? Or both?
The question I have is, what lights you up right now? What gets you excited? Where's your passion right now in life?
Jennifer.
Boy, I'm like eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I think one of the things that's lighting me up right now is it is what it is. This is what's lighting me up. I'm loving that the disclosure movement is creating a greater degree of conversation around the different kinds of beings that are out there. And so it's not just being sold as there are physical aliens from out there who are physically visiting here. People are going, actually, there's a lot more than that. There's, there are a lot of non-physical interdimensional beings, which has always been my experience, except maybe my first one when I was 6 may have been physical. The jury's still out on that one. I actually am not sure if it was astral or physical, but I'm loving seeing that there's dialogue about this, and then it's not wholly being discussed as A, a threat, or B, that they have to be physical beings from away. And I'm just like, thank God people are starting to become aware of things that I've already kind of had to become aware of just from my own personal experiences. So I don't know, that's what's lighting me up.
That's awesome.
Suara, what's lighting you up?
I had the same reaction as Jennifer right off the top, which was eeny, meeny, miny, mo. There are so many things right now. And I loved hearing that from you, Jennifer, as well, because I think that's what's going on, is that our souls right now are very inspired. We're being inspired to move in a lot of different directions. And those directions might feel like they could be a little bit random, even like I want to learn French and I want to go have this experience. But what's happening is that an incredible amount of creative energy is flowing through all of us right now. And we are all being inspired to try out different things, to play, to explore a lot of different areas and explore our own creativity. And in that way, we are creating for ourselves our own little bubble of joy and light and playfulness, almost like our own inner children coming out to experiment with all kinds of things. And it is bringing delight to the soul. And so I love that you're experiencing that, wanting to look at a lot of things. I think it's something that's just in the air. And I encourage everyone, if something comes up inside of you, you want to try something out, take a class, go dancing, do something different, to explore those things. Pick 1 or 2 things to pour your heart and soul into and play just for a little bit. It doesn't have to be a commitment. It doesn't have to be a big deal, but this is the time now where our soul wants to play, and we can create these little bubbles of light around us. And again, bring in more light in the world, bring in that love. And it's through that choice as well as creative self-expression. Yeah.
Brilliant. And I'm going to encourage the audience to begin to see auras, if you haven't already seen auras, on each of our guests as they're speaking. It could be just white light or it could be extra, but you don't have to know what you're doing. Just let go, be in your heart. Ask the universe, angels, if you don't mind using that word, to get you out of your head into your heart and see with all of you. It's on everything as it already is, but you can do it. And if you do, put an emoji in the comment section. You're not admitting to anything. It could have been that you got lit sage smoke through the screen and the year is 2030 and you're in Tokyo or Berlin. I'm going to put up an angel photo. Get what you want to get. You can get a compliment, get a hug, and stay quiet and just say, got it. Or you can get something, since you're all like wildly psychic or professional listeners on all of our behalves, you can get something for humanity or a reminder for the audience. Here's Joy, Cosmic Angel. She's the emotion joy, very fun. Suara, what are you hearing from Joy for us all? But make sure you get a hug and something private first.
Yeah. So much love, playfulness, laughter coming through. A joy and happiness coming through like a warm hug, an invitation to play, an invitation to express ourselves in new ways, to have fun, and to find the joy in every situation.
Oh, beautiful. And Jennifer, what are you getting from Joy?
I couldn't have said it better than Suara. The exact same thing. In fact, the first thing I heard was a female laughing, and that exactly what she said. Yes.
And then Sunny, what are you getting from Joy?
Yeah, mine's a little different. What I heard is not to let the heaviness of the world harden our hearts, because what we want is we want that joy to come in to create even more depth of compassion and love, because people are struggling to feel joy. They're holding on to the pain. And if we lose our humanity while we expose inhumanity, we miss the whole point, and we miss the joy that life is actually meant, because joy is the highest expression of love there is. That's the work.
Let's follow up on that. Positivity is abundance. That's a quote from, I think, Archangel Michael. I can never remember anything, but at least I remember the quote. Sunny, let's follow up very briefly. Each of you are going to do kind of a lightning round on positivity is abundance. Do you agree with that? Does that sound good?
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I think that our training and the way that we've been brought up through society has taught us that it's greedy, it's arrogant, it's, a variety of different things. And abundance, what that really means is it just means to overflow. That's what abundance means. And so when we have an overflowing amount of love, joy, happiness, peace, money, blah, 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 then that's fantastic. When we have an overflow of the hard stuff, that's we want to see that and really pay attention to where we're allowing abundance in. And I think we are abundant beings. It just depends on which direction we're going.
Suara, positivity is abundance.
I love this quote. I think positivity and having a positive attitude can unlock so many things inside of ourselves. It's sort of the choice point that we make to have a positive outlook. It sort of opens a door to many other levels within us that we can access, just more depth in any situation, especially in relationship, to have the positivity and sharing that energy and sort of build off of a relationship, that positive energy that sort of flows upward. I think that it's all about that choice to be positive. So yeah, I think it's a fantastic quote. It's a great quote to live by.
And Jennifer, you get a choice. You can ask a question of another guest, or you can follow up on positivity is abundance.
Oh, that's a tough one. um, Shoot. Okay. I think I'm gonna pick the question. Ooh, that's hard. But I think they both said some amazing things. So I'm gonna ask them a question because I think they both have really valuable things to share with the audience. And so my question is, what would you tell the audience members are the best ways to regulate their nervous system and open up to spirit? Oh, Sunny, you first.
Okay. Okay. I think that I'm going to flip it right back around to joy. I think that actually being in joy is exactly what starts to regulate our systems. I think being in nature regulates our system, being in water regulates our system, being in environments that excite us regulates our system, our breath. That's the one thing that I like to really focus on, that you always have your breath. Well, until you don't need it anymore. So you can always use breath to regulate. But what I found in my life is that joy is the thing I always I always strive for, and it's the focus that I always want to live with. And it doesn't mean I bypass the hard things, but it means this is what I want to come back to, because that's what centers me and grounds me in who I choose to be.
Suara.
I love the idea of breath, going inside, and meditation. I think meditation is the place I go to. I also love a little bit of sound. And in meditation, in my breath, it also means that there are no devices on around me. And just being able to turn all those things off for a few minutes in the day, half an hour, coming out of meditation, I feel incredible. I feel connected to a different source of energy information, not just that one source, which is like the news or the, whatever is streaming, whatever my feed is pouring into me, but like I'm connecting into something deeper. Actually, I can feel it in the air, even it's sort of in the atmosphere around me, that there are other bits of information sort of flowing in, and maybe it's empathy, maybe it's intuition, there's other things flowing in from the field, and I really enjoy that depth of connection. But it starts with getting quiet first. So whatever it takes to get quiet, to connect in with my heart space, my breath is a good way to do that, and meditation.
Okay, so we have two big topics coming up in just a little bit, but you're going to have plenty of time to allow for them. One's going to be sort of the interdimensionality and the speed of time. I'm going to give 3 examples how they're all tied together in a moment. We're going to do something interactive to buy a little time. And then we're going to talk about disclosure a little more in a positive light. And you're going to remind me that those are the topics if I totally blank out later. But I'm going to show auras on my fingers. This is out of the movie Celestine Prophecy, which is actually one of the 3 examples that I'm going to try to connect together to show something about time can be fast, it can be slow. You can have your own experience, your own reality, and people are already doing that all the time. Welcome to being human. I'm going to show an aura here. So it's out of Celestine Prophecy, the movie, this way. But as Sue Frederick from Arizona said, hey, we were doing this in the 70s before the movie even existed. In India, they do it this way. As soon as you see it, I'm going to go wider and bigger. You can get an object in the flow. At home, don't worry about the details. Just see with all of you, see with your heart. Let angels do all the heavy lifting for you, like everything else. So I'm going to tell a dad joke. That's what this is really all about. It's an excuse to tell a new dad joke. You probably have all heard this one before, but it's one of my best. Santa's reindeer, Blitzen, Dancer, just those 2. Why do they drink so much coffee? Because they're Santa's Starbucks. And if you're laughing, you're letting go. I'm going to just show a little bit of light between my fingers. If you could just say a yeah and what color you're seeing as I start to do it. And it'll be a little filament of light. What are you seeing between my fingers? Jennifer, Suara, what are you seeing?
I see blue.
Okay, and Suara, what color did you see?
I saw it lean towards green.
Okay, and then Sunny, what are you seeing?
I see yellow with a little bit of a bluish green on the outsides.
Okay, and if you'll ask angels, light beings, and all 11 above figures to make it really nice now, you might get a face, a ball of light, Merkaba, red cardinal, phoenix. It could be anything. Everyone's gotten everything by now. Breathe, breathe, breathe. No try Yoda. I'm going to do Yoda's voice to crack everybody up and just allow, allow, allow. Do not. There is no try. Okay, Suara, what are you seeing now?
Just swirls of light.
Okay, and Jennifer?
Yeah, same thing. Swirls of light. Yep.
Okay, Sunny.
Sacred geometry, tetrahedron.
Okay, and if anybody wants to put their hand out, it could be off screen like you're getting $50, or you can kind of put it out towards the camera. You can feel that light if and only if you hear A-OK from like Archangel Michael or angels if you're comfortable, but you can feel it. And I'm going to stop. Okay, here's your hypothetical. I'm going to pull 3 examples in. And I'd love for you to allow a little bit of channeling, listening, your angels coming in, or you've already got a gut reaction. You're going to be like, oh, no, I can do this blindfolded. 3 different data points. I think it's Elizabeth April on Instagram recently in the last 2 weeks shared a moment with her child who's very young, but can still count to like 6. And there's another adult in the room. They hand a marble into the kid's hand, and the kid says 1. Got 1 marble. Second marble, 2. Third, 3. Fourth, 4. Fifth marble, the child says 4. The 2 adults are at 5. Reality went boop, and that's the first example. The second is from Cynthia Sue Larson's blog or website, and she has readers writing in, and she's been a guest, will be a guest a second time coming up this summer, all about the Mandela effect. That's Nelson Mandela, not Mandela. I mix everything up. Okay. A reader, somebody submitted the following story. They're at home, a husband, wife. The husband does something, has to go to the ER. This ER is always packed. They're like, oh boy, it's going to be busy when they get there. I think paramedics had to take them. They get there, the place is empty. Every stall is empty. The two paramedics, two nurses, they're in a different time frequency because essentially over 5 hours that lapse, the place is packed. They don't see it that way. They have the smoothest experience ever. Somehow the clock went like that. They go, don't see anybody, everything's empty. They're experiencing an entirely different reality than what they're accustomed to. They leave, the time went by. The paramedics somehow are straddling both realities, but the stalls were empty. They didn't see the busyness. It was completely packed the whole time. They got in, got out. It was totally smooth. And then the third example is from the movie Celestine Prophecy. There's a group in a jungle, the good guys, they raise their vibe. The soldiers looking for them pass within inches of them and miss them. They go invisible. They raise their vibe. Something about interdimensionality, reality, and time. Who wants to put a hand up on this one and talk about the intersectionality and how all three are related, or share a personal experience, or share how 4 years from now, when we look back, time won't be what we once thought it was? Eek. We went big on this one. Who wants to put a hand up and take this and run with the football? Jennifer.
I can do it. So as most people know, time doesn't exist. And our experience of linear time is sort of like an interdimensional flip book. So as we're moving forward, because also space doesn't exist, so as we're moving forward in time and space, it's really that we're passing through universes or timelines at such a rate that we can't detect it, but it feels to us like forward movement and the movement of time. But you know how that saying goes is time flies when you're having fun. That's an example of how time can feel and be experienced differently depending on your level of consciousness, because your emotional state determines your level of consciousness, and your level of consciousness aligns you with the timelines and your experience of the illusion of time. But then that goes into the timelines, and you were talking about, interdimensionality, and, you can shift timelines by shifting your emotional state, shifting your beliefs, shifting your perspectives. Where people try to do quantum jumping, if you're trying to do quantum jumping or shit, which is another way of referring to shifting timelines, if you're trying to do that from a space of escapism and from a space of, I don't want to have to deal with all of my challenges in life, you're not going to succeed. You will shift timelines when you face your fears, face your challenges, and you're able to heal your wounds and drop that density, because then you've elevated your consciousness. So now you no longer resonate with the timeline that you were for initially operating at. Now you've shifted timelines. Does that make sense?
Yes. And Sunny, before we jump to you, and this is a big one on a 1 to 100 scale, how do we do on this type of a question? Is 100 being so complex? You haven't seen one of these in a long time. Are we in the 90s?
Yeah, I think that's a great I think it's a great question, and it's one that a lot of people I don't even think about, right? Like sometimes it makes your brain hurt to think about it, so you have to really feel into it. And I don't know that I'm answering this question in the way that it was intended, but what came to me is that our perception is what shapes our reality, and your perception of time, right? Your perception of experiences, and so this isn't in a ignoring what's going on around you way, but more in like a consciousness way, because two people could be having we could all four of us could be sitting down watching the sunset, and we could all walk away with different experiences, or we could all read the same headline and we can all walk away with those different experiences, because they are different realities for us, and those are based on experience, identity, wounds, belief systems, fear, conditioning, all of those things. And time plays into all of that. And so I think when our energy, I keep going into this nervous system thing, which is not my topic of conversation generally, but when we're dysregulated, everything is urgent and we're holding on, and we're paying attention to every second. When we're and it'll feel like things are going to crash right away, and so we're reactive. But when we're in alignment, when we're grounded, when we're centered, when we're present, then time expands and we can kind of zoom out, and we're not really paying attention to that time. So I really think that the more that we grow and expand and evolve and get less connected to the ways we were trained and more connected here, those things become less controlling in our lives, and we have more freedom.
So in a way, it's a little bit like this exercise we did earlier. Everybody saw a little bit differently or in their own way, and there was no wrong or right.
Yeah.
And so it was what it was. Suara, what's your reaction to all this?
Well, I work in the Akashic Records, and so what my guides have shown me about time is that in the place that we exist here in the 3D, time is not fixed. And so the way we travel around within this space, we each have this bubble of time around us. And what each individual experiences within that bubble could be really different. Sometimes we can feel a little bit high strung or excited, or something in time moves very quickly or very slowly. And the more that we come into awareness and consciousness of our own multidimensionality, we can use our free will and choice to flex and pull on this bubble of time so that we do speed it up or slow it down. And that will happen here within our reality. And somehow all of these bubbles that we are individually flow within the stream of time. So it's like having little bubbles flowing along a river or something. And we all flow together, but what we experience within our own individual bubble of time can be flexible, can be different from the person next to us. The beauty of the Akashic Records is that when we elevate our consciousness to expand to include something like the Akashic Records, we're entering into a field of no time. And in the place of no time, you can see it's not no time, it's more like infinite simultaneity, that everything is happening all at once within the infinite now. And so when you enter into the space of no time and the infinite now, that is where you can access different timelines, astral traveling to different points within time, and all of that is available to you because you've moved into one bubble of no time. So all of that is available to us, but it does take the work of course, clearing ourselves as much as we can to be clear channels of that energy and information. And then it takes a little bit of practice to be able to move into that space and then consciously push and pull on time to fit what we desire in the moment. So that's how it's been shown to me.
Thank you. All three of you are brilliant listeners. I'm going to put up 2 individual angels and then 4 archangels. If you could at least get a hug and get something private, but if you want to get something for everybody watching, great. Here's Charlotte, Blue Ball Light, everybody's favorite school teacher from 3rd grade or 3rd form if you're watching from New Zealand or Canada, with words meant to help you expand. Jennifer, what are you getting from Charlotte for all of us that's right in line with what today's discussion's been about?
Sorry, I just got really high because they took my energy up. Basically, I got, and this ties in with everything we've talked about, is you have the power. You choose. You choose how you respond. It's got nothing to do with your circumstances. You can use anything that's angering you or frustrating you as an inspiration point to shift into a state of, I'm going to make this conscious choice to move into a more empowered state of choosing to operate from peace, grace, mercy, forgiveness, joy, whatever it is. Feel the dark feelings, feel the badness, whatever, but then use that as a springboard to make a conscious choice for a more empowered, in control, consciously chosen response.
Ooh, fun. Feel what you feel, don't judge. Sunny, here's Charlotte for you. What are you getting for all of us?
I hear just very clearly and very simple is trust your heart. Trust your
Yay.
heart. Don't
And
trust your head, trust your heart.
Suara, I almost forgot. I'm going to lose it as a host here today, but that's okay. What's Charlotte giving you?
Right away, I smelled something really sweet. So it was like sweet jasmine flower or something. And the energy was also very sweet. It was a nurturing energy that came in and said, it's okay, and everything is okay, and you're doing fine. And so there was a very sweet, nurturing energy that came forward.
Nice. I've got a silhouette of an angel, my guardian angel, but 80,000 other people's guardian angel. And I always plug episode 110 from August 30th of 2024. Go check out a retired physician, Dr. Karen Wyatt. Beautiful career. This is her guardian angel. She knew it right away. And she shares in that story, I don't get the dates right or the ages right, but maybe when she was 8, in a safe house, safe bed, middle of the night, she wakes up and there's an angel all in white at the foot of her bed. It's her guardian angel, this angel. And from that moment on, after the angel comes and goes, she wants to be a doctor. And she grows up to be a doctor. She's retired. She got to meet this angel on Redondo Beach for 30 minutes, full human form, sit down, have a chat. Like if you slugged them in the arm, they're not going to say ouch. But when they slug you in the arm, you say ouch. So full on 30 minutes. And another guest a month later, Dr. or Reverend Julie Moret, she'll be back on soon, recognized her, had an experience in her 20s in New York City. So check that one out a month later in October 2024. Okay, Minn, I'll just say Pacific Princess, oceanic, light waves of energy and water. What else could I say? Very soft-spoken, professorial type. Jennifer, what are you getting from Minn? Lakota Sioux word for water, like Minnesota. What are you getting from her?
I'm getting a sense of just warmth and like like a warm hug, almost like that same feeling of being in, a warm bath or in your mom's womb. Just this warm sense of safety, security, and support, like a warm hug.
Ooh, beautiful. Sunny, what are you getting from Minn?
So I go right into water, and that's a safe place to feel that connection and to release the emotion that you're carrying in your body is to allow the water to hold you.
Oh, brilliant. Suara?
I'm getting grace. So the water acts as like it dissolves everything. And so it's sort of like a blanket energy of grace that surrounds us. And in that place, we can dissolve any negativity and just be in love, give ourselves a little bit of room. Yeah.
I'm going to put up a photo of, and there's no one way about the photos. My book cover is these two, but in balls of light, metallic balls of light. And I'll try to find it and just show it for 1 second later. But here's a photo, I'll call them rainbow pie slices of Archangel Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel. It doesn't matter who's who. If you don't mind each getting a quick topic, a point to make from them to all of us that is in line with what you would have probably already said a little bit later. Who wants to go first? We're looking for a volunteer. Suara, is that you?
Sure. I got right away the colors of a rainbow, and the rainbow representing multiplicity. And the multiplicity is that we are meant to all be really different and love all the differences. And it's in the multiplicity that we get to experience all the different aspects of God. Because God contains everything, and each one of those differences is a different reflection of God.
And Jennifer, what are you getting?
I got something very similar, only I got multidimensional, but the way they meant it, I knew was very multiplicity. And then I even the rainbow body of light. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but like the Merkaba or the light body, and how this time that we're in now and the choices that we're being given the opportunity to make will move us either more toward or away from our ability to access our own light bodies.
Sunny.
Our angels are with us and they're around us at any given time, and all we have to do is open up and invite their energy in to be the channel so that we can connect with them. I think so many people want and they try so hard and they forget literally they're right here, just as that image shows you.
Ooh. And I promised a photo for 2 seconds, but Charlotte is the blue ball of light, and Minn, the silhouette orange from before, the guardian angel, is the whitish one, top, the higher one. That's from my book cover, and that just happened to be a day in Austin, daytime. I got lucky with the camera in a complete panic as all this is happening to me. I grabbed a Sure Shot camera and I'd hand it to others, and people can see jointly. So we're off the hook about Sure Shot cameras. Okay, we're going to take another step. If we don't mind, if you don't mind, apologies. If you don't mind doing something, the three of you together, can I have you with only love and above and the highest intent and chaperoned by archangels? Can I have you each put up one hand to feel each other's energy and have a kumbaya moment? And that's just the three of you. So we're connecting LA to Michigan to Arizona. Let's not put it that way. We're connecting amazingness with more amazingness and even more amazingness. And we won't identify who's the most amazing. Breathe, 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 allow, allow, allow. And then if you could each share something, it could be just like, yeah, yummy and warm. What else am I going to say? Or it could be something more profound. Sunny, you're on the hot seat first. What are you feeling?
Actually, there's a very strong vibration. It's rippling through the fingers of connection, and I think it is the light connection of expression that is bouncing from one to the other to the other. We all have different forms of expression, but the power in that, when we show up in expression for all the audience as well, that's that frequency right there.
And folks at home, you can put your hands up and feel their vibe. Again, chaperoned by angels for decades to come. Suara, we're going to blame Suara. Don't blame Canada. Don't blame angels. Suara, you're up next. What are you feeling?
Just an incredible connection between all of us now and everyone who will be listening to this. And the word that comes forward is blessings, blessings of love, blessings of love, blessings of connection, the word blessings. So this is a blessing as we make this connection to everyone. It's covering everyone right now.
And Jennifer, what are you getting?
The words that came to my mind was peaceful warriors, in that I can sense that the both of them have done their own inner work, and they are helping other people do their inner work, and they have found their own inner peace, and they're helping other people find their inner peace. And I just think that's a really beautiful thing.
Well, all three of you are inner, fearless, peaceful warriors, and we're going to take this one extra level. You don't have to have your hands up, but with everyone's permission, if you could just say a yes, I'm going to whoosh you light, love and above. We're going to blame angels this time for sure. They're doing all the whooshing. I'm just looking like I'm cheating at ping pong with two paddles instead of one, and I'm going to blow my microphones down here today. Please catch Hawaii as an extra bonus, or love, get rippled up and down your back, your front, wherever. Let angels help you in any way or vibe you out. Can I get a yes from each of you so I have your permission?
Yes.
Okay, here it comes. And one quick dad joke. You've all heard this just before we started the show. It's the secret to getting you all to laugh simultaneously as we do the intro. But let's do a different one. Where in a hospital is the worst place to play hide and seek? Where? In the ICU. Okay, here it comes. We're going to do it a couple more times. No two whooshes will be the same. We're going to really blame archangels after this. Sunny, what did you get just now?
Interesting. I heard I receive. Receive the energy. That's all that's necessary.
Hot dog, Suara.
I smelled sage, so it was a cleansing.
And Jennifer, what are you getting?
I just got a whoosh of energy, like a wave just washed over me.
I'll put up another figure, Geronimo, action, unconditional love, spirit guide, and just absolutely wonderful. But I'll put up a photo of all archangels together, plus Metatron. I can finally say the name. Over the house, I'm sitting on a couch 10 or 12 years ago, and I hear, grab that Sure Shot camera and go outside. Thank God I didn't mouth off. I got a good photo. Here's all of them, plus the little guy in the back, Metatron. Take that with a grain of salt. I'll try to hold it steady. Let the next whoosh be from all of them, plus anybody else you'd like. St. Francis, Mother Teresa, Buddha, Muhammad, anybody. Here comes. And Suara, what'd you get this time?
Just a huge wave of energy and love, really supportive, high vibrational energy moving through.
Jennifer.
Yeah, this time, instead of it feeling like it was coming from this, it felt extremely warm and was coming down from above through me. just an enormous, yeah, cool puddle of love.
And I'm feeling it. Sunny,
Like
what
it was
do you
hot.
get?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting it.
Peace be with you.
Okay, now the last one, if you don't mind, we're going to channel this a little. Each of you is going to get a very specific independent topic, not playing off the other. So, not that we want to go artistic and creative, but we're going artistic and creative. Again, we're definitely blaming angels. Here's Charlotte, though, if anybody wants to cheat and get a hint which direction you're going to get whooshed. Here comes the whooshing, and I'm going to blow a little extra with a big inhale so you know it's coming. My microphone filters out everything. Plus, we're going to throw selenite consciousness crystal in. I think we did this before the show. If anybody doesn't know what this is, just selenite. It's white light. It's high consciousness. Put your palm out, hit pause. Make sure you put a good comment down. We've earned it. Who's been your favorite commenter so far, and what have you laughed out loud about? Let this be your laughter coming up. Laughter's love, Mother Teresa. Okay, here it comes. And is everybody ready? Can I just get a nod, a wave of a hand, or a heck yeah?
Sure.
Okay, here it comes. Suara, what topic did you get?
Ooh, I've got a huge press on my heart. Like, this is all about love. It's all about love. Expand your heart, keep expanding, and let the love in.
Short and sweet. Love it. Sunny?
Freedom. Freedom energy. The feeling of trusting your spirit, not being controlled by fear, not being hijacked by your emotional state, and instead really standing in your freedom and in your sovereignty.
Ooh, and let's have you take one more second on that. Freedom happens when walls are removed. It's not about untainted voting machines or international stuff or domestic stuff. Talk to us one more notch about freedom, because in a way, you are an expert on freedom.
You know, freedom's really when you can witness life happening around you that isn't exactly what you want to see and not absorb it, or when you can hear information but not consume it, or even when you can disagree with somebody but not let it dysregulate you or catch you off guard. It's really that grounded, consistent showing up. And I think the way that we maintain that is absolutely working with the angels, specifically Archangel Michael, to help us to hold and manage our energy so we can maintain our energy and our freedom from everything that's external, that's not in alignment with our truth.
And Jennifer, that last whoosh was a big one. What did you get from the big push?
Joy, follow your bliss. You can't go wrong with that. Very simple.
We're going to start to wrap up, but we're going to take it in stages here. And I'm going to read another one of these quotes. Angels? I never know where, after 10 years, it's hard to keep anything straight. But I'd love to get your reaction. And this is going to be like a game show. So you're going to hit the invisible buzzer in front of you, put up a hand and say, oh, it's me. I want to answer. Here it goes. Any reaction, love and above. Here we go. Belief is power. Letting go is power. Catching your thoughts before you accept them as fact is power. Embrace the opportunity to explore yourself, others, and the world around you as it really is. This is power. Unconditional love is shiny, infinite, and already within you. Sunny, or sorry, game show. Who's putting their hand up first?
Oh, I'll go. I'll go. Amen. That's what I'd say. Amen. Hallelujah. Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome, Suara.
It's all about empowerment. It's all about making that choice. And you have free will and choice. It is your divine right. And every second of every day, you are creating something. So bring your choice to your awareness and be intentional, because you can create something amazing and powerful for yourself.
Jennifer.
Yeah, the choice point, because you can either continue to point the finger outside of yourself and say, well, if this wasn't going on in the world, or if Bob had to said that to me, I wouldn't feel the way I do. And that's just not the reality of it. The reality of it is you're either choosing to respond from your subconscious wounds, or you are making a conscious choice on how you respond. But you have the choice either way. You can either pick your subconscious reaction, or you can pick a conscious response. But you're in control. So you have the power, you have the sovereignty. Yeah, I think that's the meat and taters of it.
Okay, I've got another one of these quotes, but your reaction doesn't have to be based on this quote. You can go 007, go to the murder mystery section of the bookstore, or go to Harlequin Romance, or go to history. It doesn't matter. You'll just react how you want to react spontaneously. And then we're going to do a final round of asking each other questions, and we're going to start to wrap it up. You get a closing statement after that. Here it goes for another one of those quotes. Breathe more fully. Feel the universe. Absorb insight from within. Relax and learn. Awaken to a bigger reality. Give and share love. Understand in your own way, at your pace, that everything really is connected and you are unique. Suara, what do you want to do? Run for the hills, pick a new topic, or react to that quote?
Well, what came up for me with that is that you have everything inside of you already. There's no longer any need to go outside of yourself and chase down anything or have to achieve anything out there. Everything is already inside of you. You are equipped. And so it's about getting in touch with that, slowing down, listening to the answers that are there in your heart. You have everything already.
Sunny.
Don't always believe what you think. Period.
Yes.
Powerful.
Uh-huh.
I know more than you think, and you think more than you know. I'm going to borrow from Peaceful Warrior since you guys brought that up earlier. The movie with Nick Nolte and Scott Meklowitz and Amy Smart. Okay, Jennifer, what'd you get?
I just got that, yes, that you have the power within you, but the breath really is what I kind of came away with, because for me, breath work has been an integral part of my spiritual journey, and the power of the breath and the power of learning to control your breath and the power of being quiet with the breath and the power of using the breath to shift your brain waves, and then add that a little smile, and that tells your brain to start producing serotonin and oxytocin and dopamine. The breath is extremely powerful, and the breath has the power to not only be something that you can control, but also it aligns you with those higher, I'm going to say emotions, beings, dimensions, levels of consciousness. So the breath is extremely powerful. And I think if people took a little more time to get in touch with their breath. Oh, did I kick out for there for a second?
We can hear you just fine.
Okay, good. I think if people spend a little more time to get in touch with their breath, they would find that they are able to have access to so much more of their own inner wisdom.
Sunny, what's a question for one of the other two?
What is one thing that you are letting go of?
Jennifer?
Ooh, I just had a good emotional release about this yesterday. The weight and burden of being alone and feeling like I have to do everything and I have to do it all, and it's all on me.
Good answer. And you've been short-circuiting your own video. We're going to blame high vibration coming in 3 times. People can note that.
Yes, let's.
Good excuse
blame
to
it
put
on that.
good excuse to put emojis down in the comment section. If you don't want to use words, you're going to help other people find this video in the years to come. Suara, what's your answer?
I just lost it, that high vibrational energy. Sorry, what was the question again?
Letting go. What are you having to let go of? What's your opportunity for growth?
It is letting go of what it looks like. It doesn't have to look like anything, and I'm okay with what is. So total radical acceptance.
Wow. And for me, it's been sun, run, fun. I would say dogs, but my little Joy, who's named after the angel Joy, has passed over the Rainbow Bridge. It was her time. And so it's one dog, one cat. It's gardening, flowers, running, sun. And I know that doesn't sound very career ambitious, whatever, but that's what angels are saying. And it's been like given to me like a drill sergeant to me. Just get outdoors and have fun. Okay. Last little bit, if there's a mantra, but I'm going to pick an angel or, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick a particular photo with thousands of angels. And I would love for you to not say a mantra you said before, a fresh one. And it's probably already coming in. So with that, can we bottle it up for another 10 seconds before you respond and decide on one? I'm going to show a concert in Austin, Texas. It's not raining. It's either Two Door Cinema Club. Could have been M83. I forgot. It's a lot of angels. And Joy's smack in the center there. Claire, the bright purple. That's Claire. That's my surviving dog's guardian angel. If you could get a very authentic, original, it's making you laugh a little bit, sort of mantra thing, a little phrase. You're gonna have to repeat it 3 times each of you, and then I'm gonna thank you, and we're gonna close out the show, the panel. All set? I'm sure you are. You're so quick. You're all Einstein at all this stuff, or Carl Lewis. I don't know. I can't think of anything. It's a track star. Okay, Suara, what mantra did you get? 3 times. You got to say it.
It's simple. I am love. I am love. I am love.
Ooh, and both of you two are cooked in case that was the one you were going to come up with. Jennifer will buy you time. Sunny, what did you get?
You are enough, just you alone. You
And you
are
got it?
enough, just you alone. You are enough.
And you sunk my battleship, Jennifer. Go ahead. What did you get?
Well, my jaw dropped because I got I am. So I am, I am, I am.
Oh, and it was only a near miss for the battleship. We did not sink your battleship. You three are amazing. I hope you'll come back either individually or together again in the future. And I just want to say thank you. What fun. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.